when we talk about life, often I talk about nature, and we have to follow life like the ebbs and flows of a river. And whilst that's true in the sense that a river flows beautifully sometimes, at the same time, I always say sometimes, like tonight, there's been some beautiful moments and then some challenging ones. But again, sometimes the rivers of life, and we don't always see this behind the scenes of people's lives, aren't just a smooth, beautiful river all the time. And this is sometimes we see the smooth, beautiful river up and down on social media, for example, or how someone comes across, but we don't see the kind of rocky rocks that it runs around, or sometimes it goes over, hurdles over, and again and again and again, and then it ebbs and flows. And so there's so many anomalies in nature, and that's what life is. So I really want to reflect, because whilst I think like sometimes I'm like, yeah, Friday, it literally can be different points in the day where we're feeling like really boosted, and then life just throws something, and it's like, oh. But what I've realised is the power of community. So whilst we can't always control life, and we could always look back to see how busy and party on my Fridays were, at the same time, we've got to make the most of whatever situation we've been catapulted in. And so sometimes it's really important. I'm currently still dressed as Cleopatra. I've kind of dishevelled some of my mask and jewellery because I was doing a session today, dancing and yoga flow, Halloween style. But no matter how challenging it is, and as humans we quite like, regularity and knowing where we are and knowing how we're steering the boat, sometimes we can't control it. And actually just to let ourselves go with the flow sometimes is what works. And sometimes we do need to take our power back, get our oar stuck in. I know, like, even last night, I'll have to post the video I made before I went out, where I couldn't see myself even leaving the house. Lockdown's been lovely for my, shall we say, introvertedness and sometimes my self-isolation, regardless of COVID. It's been helpful in that way because it's normalised a lot of it. But then actually just taking one step at a time, we can get into actually realising that there's so many good people in this world. There's so many people around us, no matter what. And we can look on a day and we can focus on the dark. But I always say this with a sparkle. There's always a dark side, but then sometimes there's a sparkle. And we always have to know that no matter what challenge, no matter how difficult the river sometimes feels to navigate, and no matter how much we feel like everyone else is sailing on this beautiful, calm, like predictable river, and we're on this whole roller coaster of life, a lot of us are having our own rock and roll Fridays, no matter how simple it might seem, and just rock and rolls of life. And that's where it's really important to either try and reflect and remind yourself of the good things, or surround yourself with people that when you don't feel like doing that, they'll remind yourself of those good things and bring that out of you. So sending you so much peace, so much love, and so many shimmies. Rock and roll however you feel. And life can throw us some of the deepest, darkest challenges, but then around the corner can be the brightest, sparkliest sun ever as well. So again, have the most incredible journey. Let's do this together. I'm now gonna have my Netflix watching the rest of Maid, crying I think, and doing my studying. Zen time now for me, doing my studying anyway, and then a bit of reflection as I watch Netflix. Okay, Bye bye.